Hi, this is Penny with EFT Tapping for Stress Relief. One of the questions that people have after they've been having such great results for themselves with tapping is, can I tap for someone else? Being the compassionate lot that we are, when we know that something helps us, we want to help someone else with it. But maybe they might not be interested or open to it or have the energy for it at the time. So we absolutely can help other people with their issues by tapping. But the very first thing that we have to do is we have to tap on our own feelings about their situation. So say your brother has had a broken leg or a surgery and is in a lot of pain, and you want to help with that pain. You know you have tapped for yourself and eliminated your discomforts. So how do you do it for someone else? Well, the first thing you do is you tap for how you feel about their suffering. So you would do a setup statement like you would do, anything else. Even though I have this feeling about my brother's suffering. And you would, of course, fill in whatever your feeling is. I love and accept myself. And you do that setup statement 3 times. Then you tap through the points with a reminder phrase. Let's say what your feeling was anxiety about your brother's pain. So your reminder phrase could be this anxiety, my brother's pain, my anxiety, my brother's pain. I have this feeling. I have this anxiety about my brother's pain, my brother's pain. Something along those lines. Then whatever else you might be feeling, you tap on that too. Maybe you're actually angry at him, for getting sick or hurting himself, or you're afraid for the family because of his injury and the consequences. There are all sorts of feelings that you could have, and all of them are fine. Feelings don't have to make sense, and you don't have to justify them to anyone. They just are. They're very, very often nonsensical. You know this, right? You have a feeling about something and you go, well, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to. They're not logical. They're not in the conscious mind. They're in your body. And they are a completely different set, or they have a completely different set of rules that they operate by. So once you are very clear that you have tapped out all of your emotions about the situation, then you can do something as if you were tapping as them. So you sort of tune into that person and get a sense of if it's all right with their spirit, with their soul, that you do this for them. And it's not elaborate. You just tune into them and go, is it okay if I tap for you? And you should get a pretty clear yes or no. I think no's are really definitive. Sometimes, yeses and maybes, but play around with it. If they're open to it, you can just ask them directly. I read a story one time about a woman who just suddenly felt like her brother was in very grave danger. And he had come home from a cancer treatment and was very, very sick. And she tapped for him. And he called later and reported that he had come home and had been very sick. And then he had suddenly felt much, much better. So was it her tapping? Was he going to feel better anyway? Who can say? But I don't think ever sending someone love is a bad thing. So how do you set it up so that you are tapping as them? You start here on the side of the hand and say, now I am going to tap for, let's say it's Toby. I'm going to tap for Toby and his issue, and I'm going to tap as him. And then you would proceed on, imagining what you think Toby might be feeling or needing help with. So let's go back to discomfort. I feel all this discomfort in my broken leg. Now, if you are working with someone and they say pain, you can say pain. I'm, as a practitioner, not saying that you can cure pain with tapping, but that's what people will say. And so you use their words. Use the words you use. If you look at them and say, you really look like you're in pain, you can use those words. But just as a disclaimer, we're not, as practitioners, treating pain. We're generally talking about or addressing the emotions about the pain. So even though I know that Bob is in this pain and is probably really angry or frustrated about it, I love and accept myself. So I switched my orientation there. You wouldn't speak of yourself in the third person. So you are now tapping as Bob, right? So you would just be saying, even though I'm really frustrated that I'm in all this pain, I don't like it. And I'm so sick of it. And I'm angry that this happened, right? Those are the things. You want to address the emotions about the pain, about the discomfort, because emotional freedom techniques is what EFT stands for. When you reduce the emotional intensity around an issue, whether it is an emotional issue or a physical one, then you are lowering cortisol, you are increasing life affirming and energy calming hormones in your system. And that pretty much usually reduces discomfort. So addressing the emotions is what we want to do to address the actual problem. Mirror, problem, reflection, it very much is the same thing. So tap for your loved one for as long as you want, as long as you feel, that there's something there, to kind of get your fingers into. And then when you're done, you need to return your nervous system to yourself. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that, but this is the tapping way. Okay, so now I am going to release Toby or Bob, and I'm going to send all of his energy that I may have picked up back to him with my love. And now I'm just going to be tapping for myself. So now I'm tapping for myself. You can use your own name. I'm tapping for Penny. Now I'm only tapping for myself. I'm tapping for myself. And finish the points, collarbone, under the arm, top of the head. So that is how you would use tapping to help not only yourself when you see someone that you love suffering, but also you can tap for them to help them get through whatever it is they're experiencing. So I hope that clears that up, and, give it a go sometime. Certainly tap for yourself, because it works. Take care. I wish for you a joyful heart. Be well.